Hi, welcome to the 30k channel. I'm your host David.
And I'm Boris.
And we are down for another 1,000-pointer, but this time we are Iron Hands versus Word Bearers.
Absolutely. Short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see. Your first time playing Word Bearers?
Yeah, again, we're borrowing Dan Porter's model, so this is a sort of homage to For the Aim Bite, our four-parter. But this time I'm playing Word Bearers, just sort of give them a spin, so any rules errors is a mistake, but hopefully not. Did my homework. But yeah, fun little pickup game again, almost.
Yeah, and if we look at our last game, we had Mechanic and Pure Fists. That was small, 1,000 points, but really exciting.
Yeah, I was going to say, starting that game, looking at it at the start, this will be over quite quick one way or the other. It was nail-biting down to the end, even though it was fairly one way rather than the other.
Sad times.
But it wasn't called until sort of quite late in the game, unlike a lot of Heresy games, which sometimes are done by turn two.
Yeah.
Really great. So hopefully, same again.
Should be good fun. So what we've got here then, we've got a ton of infantry on the Word Bearers versus a small elite force from the Iron Hands. Bit of a theme running through the list here. Again, it's all down to the models we have available. So again, Dan's got tons and tons of models to choose from. I've got Mechanicum, very specific, and Iron Hands, very specific. So we're doing what we can.
Mixing it up though, I think it's a good combo.
It'll be all right. Let's have a look at the mission we've got for you today. We've got Blood Feud, of which our targets are on the bottom. Shitting, to quote a famous BBC Channel 4 show. And we're gone for the Vanguard Strike. Now, obviously, we're playing on 4x4, so we've just tightened up a little bit.
Yeah, we're still 24 away from each other.
We are.
So no turn one charges from the Iron Hands.
Phew. And all the Word Bearers for that matter. We're a bit slow, unfortunately, old Iron Hands. Got some big shields to lug around. And we're playing in the remnants of a really large building. I don't think I've built a building this big, actually, before. So I was going to do like a little cluster of buildings. But if we get into combat, it's a nightmare to film around. Yeah,
and it's really nice sort of to picture as a central objective. It's basically half the board, as you'll be able to see. Which is, it's great sort of fighting this great cathedral-esque or cavernous-esque building.
Yeah. I think it'll make an appearance on a 6x4.
I think so.
In the future.
Clearly it was something important.
Amen.
It was.
And it almost links, I say almost links, if you look at the last game, it was a central objective on a 4x4, and all I did was switch out the generator for the building. So it was a super quick board build, of which I've done a video for, so you can go and check that out. But it was really fun, so please have a look at that. Let's have a look at the lists. We'll go straight into the Iron Hands. Super easy. The Iron Hands are led by Ortec Moore, and they are running the Company of Bitter Iron Right of War with the Warlord trait of Murderous Arsenal. The troops choices comprise of 2 10-man Immortal squads, all equipped with Volkite chargers. There are 2 melter guns in the squad, and the sergeants have Artificer armour. They are supported by a Contemptor Dreadnought with a Carey's Pattern Assault Cannon, a Chain Fist with an inbuilt melter gun, and extra armour.
1,000 points of Word Bearers, led by a Delegatus. The Delegatus has been upgraded with Tartarus Pattern Terminator armour, a Combi Bolter, and a Tainted Weapon. He has also chosen Burning Law as an upgrade, has chosen his powers from the Biomancy tree, has taken Smite, and rolled for Enfeeble. The Delegatus is the army's warlord and has the warlord trait Conqueror of Cities. The second compulsory HQ with the Word Bearer special rule is a Chaplain Consul who has taken a Refractor Field, Artificer Armour, Melter Bombs, a Bolt Pistol, and for his Crozius, a Power Axe. First and only elite's choice in the army is a 5-man squad of Tartarus Terminators. The Sergeant has a Chain Fist and Combi Bolter, and the other 4 are equipped with Lightning Claws and Combi Bolters. The Delegatus in Tartarus armour will be accompanying them. First troops choice is a 15-man assault squad. The sergeant has been upgraded with Artificer armour, Melter Bombs, and a Power Fist. The squad has been given 3 Power Axes as upgrades as well. The Chaplain Consul will be accompanying them. Finally is a 15-man tactical squad as the second troops choice. The squad has been upgraded with additional chainswords and close combat weapons, and the sergeant has been upgraded to have Artificer armour, Melter Bombs, and a Power Fist.
They're the forces. I think you'll agree that they are very asymmetrical.
Yeah, lots of bodies versus quite elite, as you said before. So that'll be quite interesting. You see if the Word Bearers can actually survive to get into combat. Quite combat focused my end. quite shooty focused your end, although Autek Moore and the Contemptor still pack a nasty punch.
Yeah, I guess so. And if we look at deployment, we've got the Iron Hands, a big wall with Autek Moore, 20 Immortals. They're going to march straight over that defence line in the centre of the building and get amongst the Word Bearers, with the Dreadnought flanking around the side. What about the Word Bearers?
The Word Bearers are going to do some possibly clever movement with the jump pack move, but other than that, our Conqueror of Cities is great. Allows us to move through cover through ruins. So I think it's probably going to be marched straight forward again. I was sort of ruminating on, I don't actually have that much AT to try and deal with the Contemptor, so we might just either ignore it or try and tie it up with some tactical marines, who knows. But from experience, I know this wall of shield-equipped Immortals are really difficult to deal with, so we'll have to try our best to bring those down.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the charge from the Word Bearers is, for those Assault Marines, is going to be really key, if I'm honest with you. So we'll have to try and keep them at bay if we can. Hopefully those Volkite charges will come in handy. Let's get on with the game. The Iron Hands roll dice to deploy first, go first, and Word Bearers are not seizing.
No, I think we'd like to spend a turn with you coming towards us.
Makes sense. All right, well, good luck to you.
Good luck.
We'll go on to Iron Hands turn 1. Iron Hands turn 1 movement, and the Contemptor has moved up 6 inches on the right hand flank. Can't quite draw a bead to any enemy at the moment, but it's getting in position to fire shots into that building in later turns. And then both the Immortal squads and Autek Moore have made a dash for that barricade to get into the building itself. I don't think they're going to run. Might just leave them there to see what happens with the Word Bearers.
Turn 1 Word Bearers movement phase started with everything making an advance. The Assault Marines used their jump packs to move 12, moving around the side of the building rather than ploughing straight through. We're going to try and flank those Iron Hands. The Terminator squad rolled a 6 for move through cover, with help from their Warlord trait, and just tucked themselves into the ruins. And finally, the Tactical squad brought themselves up against the wall just to give themselves some cover from the Volkite and that Dreadnought. Turn 1 shooting phase for the Word Bearers. We skip straight over Psychic phase as none of the powers are in range. Moving on to shooting, we have 3 combi bolters in range. We're going to take some pot shots at the Immortal squad containing Autek Moore. So 3 combi bolter shots, all hit. That's pretty good. However, we're now wounding on 5s due to the rule from the Iron Hands. That is 3 unsuccessful wounds.
Iron Hands movement phase turn 2. The Contemptor has moved around the side of the building complex there and has drawn a bead on those Tartarus pattern Terminators. We need the AP2 to get through their armour or their invulnerable save. Finally, this Immortal squad on the left hand side has moved forward and Autek Moore has joined them. Regardless what happens or where they move, the Assault squad will make it in with a reasonably short charge in the following turn. So they are getting in the best possible position, and Autek Moore has changed squads to lend his formidable firepower and close combat ability to that squad. The right-hand squad of Immortals here, they stumble to get over that barrier, only rolling a 3 for their move through cover. Unfortunately, the weapons don't have range to anything on the board, but they are getting into position. Iron Hands shooting phase, turn 2. The Contemptor is firing his Carrier's Pattern Assault Cannon into the Terminators in that ruin. Now, before we get onto this, there's a quick note about cover saves and ruin. Because essentially the whole building is a ruin, we discussed at the beginning of the game that if you're fighting in the middle of that building, there is no cover save. However, if you are under the confines of each of those kind of little outcrops of buildings there, you will gain a cover save. Now, because the Word Bearers have Conqueror of Cities, they get +1 to cover, meaning the Terminators will get a 3+ cover save from the rending attacks from the Carrier's Pattern Assault Cannon. So it's going to be a bit of a tricky task, but we're going to give it a whirl. Here we go, 6 shots hitting on 2s. Oh, geez. So there's only 4 hits, and then we need 2s to wound, 6s rend, of which there are none, but there is 4 wounds on a 2-up.
4 2-up armor saves. We failed 2 anyway.
That is pretty good. So those 2 Lightning Claw armed Terminators have died. Next to fire is the Immortal squad on the right hand side, bolstered by Autek Moore. Thanks to his Warlord trait, Merciless Arsenal, the squad get to reroll 1s to hit and 1s to wound. So 5 Volkite charges are in range of the Assault squad. So we've got 10 shots hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. That's 2 to reroll. That was pretty good. We only dropped 2, so we've got 8 hits, 3s to wound, re-rolling 1s, which we get 1. That is really good. So 7 wounds on the Jump Pack Assault Marines there.
Okay, we have 7 3-up armor saves. Oof, okay, we lose 2.
That's great. So we do get Deflagrate from that weapon, so another 2 3 pluses. That's 1 more additional wound.
1 more 3-up armor save. Saved. So 2 Marines die.
End of turn 2 for the Iron Hands. Not a bad turn. Killing 2 of those Terminators was great news. But all we need to do now is brace, ready for that Assault Squad to charge from the Word Bearers.
Turn 2 movement phase for the Word Bearers. Everything moved up again. The Tactical Squad and the Terminators both rolled high on their move through cover, a 6 and a 5 respectively. A little bit of a debate on whether to walk the Assault Marines through the cover using their move through cover roll and then charging with the jump packs, or just using the jump packs to bring us nice and close and almost guarantee the charge. Went with the latter in the end, as dice rolls are somewhat tricksy sometimes, so we brought ourselves nice and close to that unit with Ih Dec in. Kind of scary, but hopefully we should do a lot of damage on the charge. Turn 2 psychic phase for the Word Bearers. We attempted an enfeeble from the Delegatus and the Terminator squad onto Ih Dec's squad to soften them up for the Assault Marines, and promptly failed on 3 dice. Turn 2 shooting phase for the Word Bearers started with the Tactical Squad. We took some pot shots at the enemy Immortal Squad without Ih Dec. 12 wounds line of sight, and after hits and wounds we only ended up with 2 wounds, so we now have 2 armor saves from the Immortals.
Alright, here we go. 3-up armor save. Oh, look at that, passed.
Next to shoot is the Tartarus Terminus squad. We're going to aim at the squad with Ih Dec in, just to try and soften them up again for the Assault Marines. A couple are in rapid fire range, so we have 6 shots from the squad. So the first 5 are from the Terminators, all hit, and then this is the Delegatus who are hitting on 2s. So that is all hit, 5 to wound due to the Inviolate armor. So that is 2 wounds. So we have 2 3-up armor saves from the Immortals. 1 failed, and we do have a feel no pain. Failed, so they do manage to drop a single Immortal. Last to fire are the Assault Marines. We're going to open up with the bolt pistols, possibly try and just drop another couple of Immortals. We have 14 bolt pistol shots, including the Chaplain console in there, who we're rolling on the yellow dice. Hitting on 3s, that's quite a lot of misses again, but well, not too bad. The Chaplain misses, and then we have 5s to wound, thanks to the Inviolate armor again. Oh, really poor again, so a single wound on the squad. 3-up armor save from the Immortals. Passed. Turn 2 Word Bearers assault phase. The only assault of the turn is the assault squad crashing into the Immortal squad with Ih Dec. We first, however, have to weather some fearsome overwatch. So we have a large bucket of dice from the Immortals coming in first.
Alright, so first of all, 14 Volkite Charger shots from the Immortals, hitting on 6s. Rerolling 1s though, so that might help us out. So there's 3 1s there. Okay, no, so far just 1. We'll also do Ih Dec while we're here. He's not a sausage. And then we'll do the 2 melter guns. Come on, double 6. No, so we've got 1 Volkite Charger, wounds on a 3, and that is nothing. So charge from the Word Bearers.
So we have what is essentially a 1-inch charge made on an 11. That should comfortably get them in. Making their charge easily, the assault squad hit into the squad of Immortals. They do lose their +1 attack for charging due to the breach of shields of the Immortals, but hopefully we're going to make up for that with the Zealot rule. A challenge was issued by Ih Dec. We didn't want to issue a challenge as Ih Dec was a bit of a beast in combat. We accepted with the squad sergeant, who has a power fist. Very unlikely he'll live, but we don't want our chaplain dying, as he has a power axe, so chances are he'll just die at initiative and not get to strike back if he accepted it. So we're kind of accepting that we'll lose our sergeant. However, we need the weight of attacks to do their job. So we have 16 attacks from the chainswords on the assault squad to start with, re-rolling all missed hits due to Zealot from the chaplain. So that's good that we have a reroll, as we missed quite a few there. So we hit with 2, 4, 6, 7. So hit with less than half. However, reroll, that's a lot better. So we only dropped 3 in the end. We are now wounding on 4s, sorry, not 5s. The Inviolate armor doesn't count in combat. Wounding on 4s. That's not bad at all. So we drop a further 5, 6 wounds. So 3, 6, 7 wounds overall on the Immortals.
All right, here we go. 7 wounds, 3 up armor save. That is not bad. And then we get Feel No Pain 5+. Come on. Double 6 for the win. So the Immortals stand strong. Next to strike at Initiative 4 is the Iron Hands Immortals. There are 8 Immortals and a Sergeant, giving us 10 attacks. They will get Hatred, thanks to Company of Bitter Iron, and they will get Murderous Arsenal from the Warlord trait, which essentially reroll all to hit and 1s to wound. So here we go, 4s to hit. That was appalling. So 2, 4, 5. We dropped 5, so that's half. We get to reroll these though. Only pick up 1 more by the looks of it. And now we are 4s to wound, rerolling 1s. So reroll 1, 1 there. Okay, so nothing. So that is only 2 wounds caused.
2 3-up armor saves, both passed.
Next to strike is Ih Dec more in the challenge. He's got a Paragon Blade, 3 attacks, and he hits on 3s, but rerolling thanks to Hatred. So reroll, and that's a fail. And now we are 2s to wound, rerolling 1s due to the Warlord trait. But it doesn't matter, that is 2 AP2 wounds, and that will kill the Sergeant and 1 of the Assault Marines.
Striking at Initiative 1, we have 3 Assault Marines with Power Axes, so 6 attacks. Hitting on 4s, rerolling thanks to the Zealot on the first turn. No, so that is 4 hits. We're now wounding on 3s. That's not great. 2 wounds, so the Immortals now get 5-up invulnerable saves from their shields. Made 1, and the one that goes through is a Feel No Pain. No, so we do manage to bring down 1. Last to strike is the Chaplain from the Wordbearer side. We have 4 attacks, not gaining 1 on the charge due to the Breacher Shields. Hitting on 3s, rerolling due to Zealot, which we need. We missed 2, still missed 2, that's really unfortunate. Now wounding on 3s, only wounded 1, and then we have a 5-up invulnerable save from the Immortals, which is made. Unfortunate.
Also striking Initiative 1 is Ih Dec Moore and his servo arm. Now obviously he was moved apart from the combat for his challenge, but realistically would have moved that far. We just moved it that far for the camera. So he's now gone back into combat, or within 2 inches of someone who is in combat, and he will strike with his servo arm, hitting on a 3, which he does, and now 2s to wound, which he does, and that kills another Assault Marine.
End of combat at turn 2 for the Wordbearers. That was really difficult combat for us, really hoping we could have put a big dent in that Immortal squad, but only pulled the squad down by a single member. We are, however, both fearless due to Ih Dec Moore and the Chaplain, so that combat is going to go on until the bitter end.
Iron Hands turn 3 movement. The Contemptor has managed a huge 5 inches over that barricade. It was a bit risky moving there because he could get swamped by that Tactical Marine squad, but he's going to have a quick blast at those Terminators before they hit into the Immortals. So we'll see what happens there. The Immortal squad that's not engaged in combat only managed a 4-inch walk over that wall, and they will try to put their firepower into those Terminators and bring them down before that TAC squad bog either them down or the Terminators, or the Contemptor. Combat went pretty well with Ih Dec Moore and his Immortals. Hopefully they can withstand another turn of combat. Iron Hands turn 3 shooting phase. We're going to kick off with the Immortals. Unfortunately, one of the melter weapons was out of range, so there are 10 Volkite shots into those Tartarus pattern Terminators, requiring 3s to hit. That's not too bad, so drop 4 shots, and with strength 5, tough as saw, 3s to wound. Take that. That's 4 wounds onto those Terminators.
So we have 2 Terminators up front before we get to the Delegatus, so do these 2 at a time. Both pass on double 6, and the next 2, we do drop 1 Terminator.
Good news there, dropping that Terminator. We do get Deflagrate, so let's see what happens. 3s, that is a wound.
The next Terminator is the Sergeant, so we will look out Sir on a 4-up. Yep, so onto a regular Terminator, who does fail as well.
Oh my word, that's pretty good. See if we can bring this Terminator squad down. So the Contemptor will try with his Carrier's Pattern Assault Cannon into those 2 remaining Terminators, or 1 Terminator in their HQ. 2s to hit. That is a full house. We'll take that. And 2s to wound, 6s rend. Okay, so that's 4 wounds and 2 rends. The Terminators are in cover and we'll get a 3+ cover save. So let's take those normal saves first, please, Boris.
Okay, so we have 4 2-up saves. Doesn't really matter which way around we do it because it's straight onto Delegatus if one dies. So 4 saves, does pass. And then we have 2 cover saves. These are on 3s due to the Warlord trait, which is really great. Both pass, so he shrugs off all 6 hits.
Wowzers. That great round of shooting from the Contemptor does force the Wordbearers onto their leadership test. True Believers.
3d6, pick the 2 lowest, double 1. I think they'll stay around.
Iron Hands turn 3 combat. No charges to declare, so we go straight into the big melee. There between Ortec Maw, the Immortals, the Chaplain, and the Jump Pack Assault Marines. We'll start off with initiative 4 with Ortec Maw. He did issue a challenge, but that was denied by the Wordbearer's Chaplain. So we'll go straight into the squad with a Paragon Blade. 3s to hit. 3 6s. We will take that. 2s to wound, which we get, and that's all AP2, and that will cut through 3 Assault Marines. Next to strike at Initiative 4 are the remaining Immortals. So there are 7 Immortals and 1 Sergeant, giving us a total of 9 attacks. And we require 4s to hit, Rerolling 1s thanks to Murderous Arsenal, the Warlord trait from Ortec Maw. Not too bad. We can't cry at that. Strength 4, Toughness 4, 4s to wound, and that is 3 wounds dealt onto the Marines.
3 3-up armor saves. Ooh, 1 does go down. Striking back after losing the 2 squad members, initiative 4, so they do get to strike before dying. We have 14 attacks with bolt pistols and close combat weapons. Hitting on 4s, it's not too bad. We drop 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, and then we are wounding on 4s against the toughness 4. 1, 2, 3 wounds against the armor, 3-up armor save of the Immortals. They pass every single one. Last to attack, 2 of the Marines that fell to Ortec Maw were power axes, so we only have a single one left, unfortunately. We have 2 power axe attacks, hitting on 4s. Both hit, that's good. We were wounding on 3s. Both wound, that's what we need. 2 5-up inbuns from the Immortals. Both pass. These Immortals are amazing. We then go straight on. Ortec Maw just has a single servo arm attack.
Which does hit. This is good. 2s to kill. Alright, that is another Marine dead. Good result there. The Immortals managed to pull down, or rather Ortec Maw managed to pull down 3 of those Marines. None in return, which was great. However, both HQs are fearless and that combat will continue. End of turn 3. Not a bad turn. The hard work there being done by the Immortal squad in the centre. Although they are struggling to get over that wall, they are making their presence felt with those Volkite chargers into the Terminators.
Wordbearer's turn 3 movement phase. We're racing to catch up here. The tactical squad rolled a mighty 6 for move through cover and decided to just move towards that Immortal squad coming over the barricade. We're going to see if we can rapid fire and bring down a few. The Terminators rolled, really unfortunately, a 3, even on 3 dice. So they now have a bit of a tough charge to bring themselves into combat. They really need to get stuck in, or otherwise they're just going to get shot off the board. We'll see what we can do. Turn 3 psychic phase, the Delegatus summoned up Enfeeble and tried to cast on the Immortal squad that's coming over the barrier. Rolled 3 dice, got it on 1, but the Iron Hands proved their will and negated it. Turn 3 shooting phase for the Wordbearers. The tactical squad opened up, rapid firing everything that was in range for a total of 21 shots against that Iron Hands Immortal squad. Of the 21 shots, only 12 hit and 4 wounded due to the Inviolate armor rule. Really tough. However, we now have 4 armor saves from the Iron Hands. 2 fail, so we have Feel No Pains, and 1 fails, so a single Immortal goes down. Turn 3 Wordbearers assault phase, a bit of a decision on where we're going to charge. Decided not to go for the Immortal squad on their own, as this isn't chasing our objective. It's a lot more dangerous to charge the ongoing combat with Ortec Maw, but that is our objective. No secret now, our target is characters. Ortec Maw is worth 2 VPs, and we're going to risk it. It's a long bomb charge. It is a 9 that we need. That is a 9 just. That character just about makes it into combat. Start of the combat, after making that epic charge, the Delegatus issues a challenge and calls forth Ortec Maw to fight to the death. He has a tainted weapon, which really isn't suited to killing Terminators. It is, however, instant death, so a single 1 on Ortec Moore's saves will just kill him outright, which is what we really hope for. We have 3 attacks base. Unwieldy weapon doesn't grant us an extra attack, and no bonus for charging due to the shields. So 3 attacks hitting on 4s. That's a really good start. So we have 4 hits. Strength 4, toughness 4 from 5. Sorry, from Ortec Moore. So 5s to wound. That is 1 wound. So we have a single 2-up armor save from Ortec Moore.
This is a crucial roll. Oh my word. That is unbelievable. That is a 1. Bad times.
That was unbelievable. Our tainted weapon managed to behead Ortec Moore in a single wound. That was exactly what we needed to keep us in the fight. It's still a long way from 1. We are heavily outnumbered by now presumably very angry immortals, but we have a fighting chance. Next up, Initiative 4, we have 8 attacks from the remaining Assault Marines, hitting on 4s. We drop 5, really not great, but we are wounding on 4s. 2 wounds, so 2 3-up armor saves from the Immortals. 1 failed, a Feel No Pain. Passed. Their Feel No Pain keeps them in the fight, as they've been doing all game.
Next strike at Initiative 4 are the Immortals wanting to reap revenge on these word bearers for killing their warlord. There are 8 Marines, including the Sergeant, requiring 4s to hit, so 9 attacks. That is not a bad roll. We dropped 4 attacks there, and now we need 4s to wound. 2 wounds.
2 3-up armor saves. We failed both.
We'll take that.
Striking Initiative 1, we have 3 different models. Starting with the lone Assault Marine with Power Axe left, we have 2 attacks hitting on 4s. Double 1, we miss. Unfortunate. Straight into then the Chaplain, who ducked out of combat last turn but saved his head. 4 attacks hitting on 3s. That's really good. That's what we need. Power Axe, so 3s to wound. 2 wounds, ignoring their save, so onto their invuln. 1 saved on the invuln, and then a Feel No Pain. Failed. So we do finally drag down 1 Immortal. Last to strike is the Terminator Sergeant from the Tartarus squad with his Chain Fist. Only 2 attacks due to the Immortal's shield, striking in at Initiative 1. 4s to hit. Double hit, that's what we need. Strength 8, toughness 4, 2s to wound, and that is 2 invulnerable saves, 2 wounds. And both failed. No Feel No Pain this time, finally, and we drag down 2 more Immortals.
The Iron Hands have lost the combat by a difference of 4, which is really unfortunate. Their leadership 9, so we need a 5 to keep them in the fight. Let's have a look. Oh, unbelievably, rolled a 3, and they will remain in combat.
End of turn 3 for the Word Bearers. Really amazing turn for us. That was a real turnaround which we needed. Those Iron Hands Immortals are proving absolutely tough as nails to get rid of. Took all 3 of our characters on the board, or 2 characters and a sergeant, to chew through them. That beheading of Ortec Moore with the tainted weapon was absolutely brilliant. That's exactly what we needed. Still a lot to go. That tactical squad is not looking too safe next to the Contemptor, but we can now try to stay in the game.
Iron Hands turn 4 movement, and the Iron Hands are hurting from that last turn. Losing Ortec Moore was a massive, devastating blow. However, they do have a plan. The Immortals and that Contemptor have to destroy that 15-man tack squad to be poised, ready for the following turn for the outcome of the combat over on the far left-hand side there. So it's not over yet, and the Immortals are going to dig in and see if we can Volkite some traitors down. Iron Hands turn 4 shooting, and we'll start with the Immortal squad firing their Volkites into the 15-man tactical squad. There are 14 shots, and we require 3s to hit. That was pretty impressive. We dropped 2 shots there, 3 shots, excuse me. Strength 5, toughness 4, 3s to wound. Let's have a little look. That's not bad. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wounds. We'll take that.
Okay, starting with the tactical squad, we've got 7 3-up saves. Drop 2, that's not too bad. So 2 more wounds with Deflagrate.
3s to wound. That's 1 more.
And 1 more 3-up armor save. Failed. So 3 Marines do go down.
Nice. Next, we'll go straight onto the melter guns that are in the squad, requiring 3s to hit. 2s to kill. That's another one down. Lovely job. Next, we have the Contemptor firing his Carries Pattern Assault Cannon into the squad. We require 2s to hit. Oh my word. All right, 2s and 6s. Okay, so 4 wounds, 1 being rending. Let's have a look where that sergeant is. Looks like he's the 4th man in. So let's have the normals first,
We have
please.
4 3-up armor saves, 2 fail, so 2 Marines die, and then the third one is still a regular Marine who just dies to the rend, so 3 Marines die.
Finally, the Contemptor has a melter gun in his fist. We need a 2 followed by a 2. There it is. And that is another Marine dead. Double 6. Love it. Okay. Iron Hands, turn 4 assault phase, and we're going to go for a big charge from the Contemptor into the Tactical Marines. We need a 3-inch charge. Oh, that was a nervous moment. That's fine. And then the Immortals will have a go, just in case the Contemptor couldn't do the job, and that requires a 7. Oh, that is a failed charge, but not to worry. Let's go straight onto the Hammer of Wrath for the Contemptor into the Marines. 2s to wound, which they do. And I think it's the Artificer armor at first.
So Artificer Sergeant up front. Oh, nearly a 1. He saves it on a 3.
Would have been sweet revenge for Auticmore if he'd rolled a 1, but here we are. The Contemptor made it in, and he will start with his Chain Fist at Initiative 4. 4 attacks, requiring 3s to hit and 2s to kill. That is a full house. That is pretty good. And now we need 2s to kill. No 1s. Lovely. So that will kill the first 3 Marines. And then we need to look out, sir, for the Sergeant.
So you see we can pull him out of the way. No. So the Sergeant dies. He did have a melter bomb he was hoping to plant on. However, he dies before he can plant it. Next up, the Word Bearers are choosing to fail their morale check on our weapons are useless special rule. A bit of a debate, but if they manage to escape the initiative off for sweep, they can survive, do some snapshots next turn, and then the Contemptor has to commit to charging them again to wipe them out, possibly, if the shooting doesn't do it. But it will mean that if the other combat ends and the Word Bearers are victorious and consolidate away, it means the Contemptor has a choice of targets rather than next turn he'll just wipe them. So we're going to choose to fall back automatically. It is a straight initiative off, so it is, I have a 5, Contemptor is a 6. I was feeling good about that, but unfortunately no great surprise, the Contemptor sweeps them.
The Contemptor, after sweeping the Word Bearers, consolidated 6 inches towards the big combat on the left-hand side. This is where the action is now, but we'll go in to see what happens between those 3 mixed units.
Moving on to the big combat in the corner of the building, we have, starting with our Delegatus at Initiative 5, he has a tainted weapon with 3 attacks, striking against the Immortals. That is 3 hits on the weapon skill 5, and then we need 4s to wound. That is 2 wounds, so 3-up armor saves from the Immortals. 1 fails, and that does cut through their feel no pain, as the tainted weapon has instant death rule, which negates the feel no pain. Striking next at Initiative 4 are the 2 remaining Assault Marines with chainswords, striking the Immortals. 4 attacks, hitting on 4s. Not bad at all. 3 hits, wounding on 4s. Only 1 wound, that's unfortunate. 3-up armor save from the Immortals, passed.
Strike Initiative 4, the Immortals strike back with 5 attacks, including the Sergeant, requiring 4s to hit. That's not bad, we'll take that. 3 hits, 4s to wound, and that is 2 wounds.
2 3-up armor saves. 2 failed, so 2 Assault Marines die.
Chipping away.
Last Initiative 1, we have several Initiative 1 strikes, starting with the Assault Marine with the Power Axe. 2 attacks, striking the Immortals. 1 hit, wounding on 3s. That is a wound, so it cuts through their armor. They do have a get Invan save.
This is on the Sergeant, but we'll go 5-up Invan and then feel no pain. Come on. Okay, so the Sergeant has been taken down. Corrections, not the Sergeant. It's one of the Immortals next to the Power Axe wielding Word Bearer.
Next to strike is the Chaplain wielding his Power Axe. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s due to weapon skill 5. That is all hit, that's what we need. 3s to wound. 3 wounds. This could be bad for the Immortal squad. 3 5-up Invan saves.
Here we go. Oh god, 2. Feel no pain. Okay, just kills the Sergeant, unfortunately.
Last, the Sergeant of the Terminator squad with the Chain Fist consolidated in, or piled in rather, to strike at the Immortals, however, was too far away from anyone to be able to hit. So that is the end of the combat. The
Iron Hands have lost combat by a difference of 1. We're on to Leadership 8, -1 is 7. Fingers crossed. Oh, and that is a fail. Let's see if they can be swept. So the Immortals All at one. Okay. And they have been swept.
After the combat, the two squads consolidated. The Terminator squad consolidated 2 inches and the Assault squad 4. Brought ourselves around just to target the back of that Immortal squad.
Wow, what a turn 4 that was for the Iron Hands. You know, wiping out that 50-man tack squad was amazing, but then losing the combat over here in the corner was really tricky. The Word Bearers now are in the perfect position to take on the remaining Immortal squad, but thankfully the Iron Hands have the backup from that Contemptor. So it's going to be a really interesting final part of the game.
Turn 4, Word Bearers, movement and Psychic phase. Very little on the movement front. We just shuffled around to bring ourselves into range for a charge. Psychic, we finally did something. The Delegatus cast Enfeeble on the Immortal squad and finally had it not negated. This means they are -1 strength and toughness, which should help hopefully in the oncoming combat. Turn 4, Word Bearer shooting. We'll start with the Terminator squad. Both are going to rapid fire the combi bolters. The Terminator Sergeant fires 2 shots hitting on 3s, twin linked. Both hit. Wounding on 4s now thanks to the Enfeeble. So that is 2 wounds. Armor saves, both made however. The Delegatus is going to fire his combi bolter. He is hitting on 2s. Twin linked. Still fails. And 4s to wound. That's still a wound. Passed as well, and then we have 2 bolt pistols from the Assault squad. The regular Assault Marine hits, and the Chaplain also hits, wounding on 4s again. 1 wound, passed the armor save. So no effect there, but we did cause some wounds we wouldn't have done otherwise with the Enfeeble, so happy about that. Word Bearer's turn 4 Assault phase. Bit of a decision now, but we're going to start the charge with the Assault Marines, so they are going to brave the Overwatch fire from the Immortals. Reasons are that I don't trust my Terminator saves, and the Delegatus is the Warlord, so we could be giving away a Warlord if he dies to Overwatch. So the charge is hopefully easily remade, but we start with a huge amount of Volkite Overwatch. 14
overwatching Volkites, 6s required. We get a massive 2. Boys of the Golden Throne there coming up trumps, and we require 3s to wound. 1.
And the regular Assault Marine is closest, so a regular 3-up armor save passed. That's really lucky.
Right, so now we've got 2 multi-melters in the squad, double 6, come on. Not a sausage. All right, and the charge.
So the Assault Marines charge in a mighty 9, and the Terminators charge in 2, which will still get them in combat, but only just. After surviving the Overwatch, we make it in on the charge. The Assault Marines, using their jump packs in the charge phase, scored 2 hits on the Hammer of Wrath, 2 wounds. 1 did get through the armor save, but was saved on a 6 on the Feel No Pain. A challenge was issued by the Chaplain, see if we can drag out the Squad Sergeant who accepted it. Almost all our attacks are initiative 1, apart from the Delegatus, who has a tainted weapon. He has 3 attacks, no bonus for the charging due to the shields. So 3 attacks hitting on 3s. All hit. We are wounding on 3s because the Immortals are now toughness 3 due to Enfeeble. That is 2 wounds and 2 3-up armor saves. 1 fails, and the Feel No Pain is failed.
The Immortal didn't need to roll Feel No Pain because the Tainted Weapon has instant death, which negates the Feel No Pain rolls, just a force of habit. Striking initiative 4, the Immortals will go into the Terminators. There is 7 attacks requiring 4s to hit. There are some ones in there, so due to hatred, they get to re-roll, which is nice. That'll do, we'll take that. So 3 hits, 5s to wound. Oh, not a sausage. Sergeant in the challenge will strike the Chaplain, so 4s to hit. Not bad. 5s, we need it again. Oh, we'll take that. 1 wound.
2-up armor save. Passed. First to strike back at initiative 1 is the Assault Marine squad, starting with the Assault Marine with the Power Axe. 2 attacks on the charge. Rerolling misses due to Zealot on the first turn. Still a miss. We are, however, wounding on 2. Strength 5, toughness 3. That is a wound, so that cuts through the armor save onto an invuln save. Passed, lucky, nice. And then we have the Chaplain, who has 4 attacks. He is striking the Sergeant in the challenge, hitting on 3s, rerolling the 1 for the challenge, still a miss. And then again, wounding on 2s with that Power Axe. Really good, so that is 3 wounds. We have 3 invuln saves.
All right, the Sergeant needs to do some work here, so here we go. That's not going to help anyone. And then 5 up, feel no pain. Oh, not a sausage. So that kills the Sergeant and 2 more Immortals.
Last to strike is the Terminator Sergeant with a chain fist, swinging into the Immortal squad, hitting on 4s with 2 attacks, 1 hit, and then wounding on 2s against a toughness 3. That is a wound, so goes over the feel no pain, but they first get a invuln save. Oh, saved. So that Immortal lives on.
The Iron Hands have lost the combat, and they are down now to initiative 4, which is really unlucky. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so they do fail. Initiative roll off for the Immortals. They get a 1 again. Oh my word. And the Immortals are swept. Amazing.
End of turn 4 for Wordbearers. That was a really good round of combat. We're finally pulling our weight in combat. We consolidated 3 on both squads and just moved away from that Contemptor, hopefully putting a little bit of spaces between us. It'll probably still charge us, but at least we can give ourselves some cover and make it come to us.
Iron Hands, turn 5, movement. The question we need to ask ourselves is, can the Contemptor wipe out these 4 models from the board? So we are going to find out over the next 2 turns. So first of all, we'll start with the Contemptor. He moved forward 6 inches directly towards those Terminators. And now we're going to fire the Carey's Pattern Assault Cannon, requiring 2s. That is a full house. This is a good start. 2s and 6s. Oh, look at that. Okay, so we'll put the Wrens on the Sergeant and the wounds. So, look out, sir.
So, I'll look out, sir, all of these as the Delegatus is closest. So, 5 lookout, sirs. That's all passed. So, the Sergeant takes them. Which ones do you want me to take first?
Rending.
Rending first. So, 2, well, do these 1 at a time in case he dies. 5 up invuln, failed. So, the Sergeant is dead. And then a 5 up invuln on the Delegatus. Passes. So he survives unwounded, and then 3 more wounds, regular wounds, so 2 up armor saves, passes all of them. Ooh. However, that does kill the chain fist in the squad.
All right, so just before we remove the chain fist, we've got a shot from the melter gun in the fist. 2s to hit. Ooh. 2s to wound. Oh, I knew it. I knew it was going to be 1 either the hit or to the wound. Never mind. All right, and we shall now go into a charge. Iron Hands, turn 5, assault phase. You can see there that the Contemptor made it into combat with the Centurion on a massive 11-inch charge, which is very impressive. We do get Hammer of Wrath, which wins on a 2, which we've got. Lovely.
2 up armor save. Oh, almost, or a 1, but he saves that.
It teetered, didn't it? All right, so we've got 4 attacks, hitting on 4s. Oh, geez Louise. 2s to wound. Can we do it? There's 2. What do you got?
Okay, 2 5 up invuns. Here we go.
Go on. Oh my word.
Yeah, he survives. He, however, can't swing back. He has a strength 4 AP nothing weapon. So that's the end of the combat. Turn 5, Wordbearers round up with the whole turn. The Chaplain detached from the Assault Marine, or the single Assault Marine left. The Assault Marine took off away from the board. So if the Contemptor wipes out both those characters, it's not a wipe of the board. The Chaplain then moved in and charged the ongoing combat, hoping to use his Zealotry and his single Melter Bomb to save his Delegatus.
All right, so we'll go straight into combat at initiative 4. Contemptor now only has 3 attacks to kill 2 characters. Can he do it? We are hitting on 4s. It's not bad. It's 1 apiece, fingers crossed. 2s to wound. Who do you want to take this on, Boris?
We'll take it on the Delegatus, otherwise the Melter Bomb is gone. Amen. I know we're possibly giving away Warlord, but we'll see. Single 5 up invuln. Oh no! So he dies.
Amazing.
Striking back at initiative 1, the Chaplain has a single chance with his Melter Bomb to try and bring down this Contemptor. We have a single attack with the Melter Bomb. Zealot does give us a reroll, so we're hitting on 4s. That is a hit. So we can see what we can do. Strength 8 with Armor Bane. That is plus 10, so that is definitely a penetrating hit. However, the Contemptor does get an invulnerable save in combat.
All right, 6 up. We need to see 30k channel logo. Come on.
So the penetrating hit goes through, and the result is only a 2, which goes to a 4 with the AP 1. which is a vehicle
Stunned. But we've got extra armour, so we are only shaken. Combat will continue. Sixth and final turn for the Iron Hands, and we've got 3 chances to take out this very, very cheeky chaplain with his melter bomb. Striking initiative 4, 3 attacks. We require 4s to hit. Oh, that is 1. It's bad news. 2s to wound. That'll do.
We have a single 5-up invuln from the refractor field. Can he do it? Teased us with a spin, but amazingly the chaplain shrugs it off. So he is going to fight back with the melter bomb. We have a single attack. No zealot this time. 4s to hit. That is a hit, amazingly. 2d6 on the armor bane. That is an 11 this time. Definitely a pen. Armor invulnerable save from Contemptor.
Oh my word, I'm nervous. All right, let's have a logo. Come on. Oh!
Shrugs it off as well. So that combat is drawn again. Wordbearer's turn 6, and with no other turns left, the lone assault marine just takes a vantage point to watch this epic duel. We're going straight into the combat phase. The Contemptor gets a swing first with 3 attacks.
3 mighty attacks. Let's have a look. 4s to hit. Oh no. 1. 2s to wound. There it is. Come on.
One more 5-up invuln save to live through the game. Here we go. No. And the chaplain does finally fall. That is the end of the game, having played 6 turns. The last 2 models on the board are left staring angrily at each other. The wipeout was nearly complete on both sides. We're going to go and tot up the victory points and see who's won.
That was Iron Hands versus Wordbearers. Ortec Moore has been killed. Oh my god. But what a good game.
That was amazing. I thought we were going to be done by turn 4 after that combat went in the corner, just went on forever. They kind of hit and just didn't do anything. I thought, oh well, this is it. And then it shows you just need that one at a particular time, and it can turn the entire game.
Unbelievable. I mean, I was just agog. I was just like, oh my word, what has happened? But and amazing. Like Boris said, you need that one opportunity, and it's worth taking the gamble, because as soon as Ortec Moore fell, that squad disintegrated.
Absolutely, and it was the fearless on both sides, and then you had to start taking things. And I was sort of debating whether or not I'll take the safer charge and go for the nearest squad of Immortals, but they didn't have Ortec Moore in. Probably just would have been a wipeout pretty early on. So yeah. Gambles pay sometimes. When they work, they work.
They do, eh? And again, 1,000 points, a really thrilling game. Boris and I talked about this sort of after turn 1, turn 2. We said, okay, you've not got a lot of movement involved, but stuff gets sticky real quick.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no sort of waiting turn 3 or 4 to charge. And it was, again, such a close game. We had 2 models left on the board, one each. We had 1 model left on the board each. Which I think shows how close a game it was. Yeah,
and that's a really good point, because I think we can be forgiven for saying that maybe these smaller board games are a bit boring because it's kind of one side, you meet in the middle, you have a shootout or you have a combat. But if you look at it a bigger picture, it's a third of a 3K game. So it's almost a snapshot at a point of time in a small battle that could take place on it over a 3K game.
I think so. And the Heresy games are a snapshot anyway. I don't think you presume that 3K is the entire army. I think you think there's stuff going on outside the board, and the 3K game is kind of the focal point where the breakthrough is going to happen. So it's easy to abstract it down that this is the focal point of a focal point.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
It's good fun. Let's have a look at those victory points, because it is amazingly close. We'll start off with the Wordbearers. Obviously, you killed Ortec Moore's got 2 points. Chose independent character as the blood food target.
Absolutely.
And then you also got Warlord for obviously killing Ortec Moore. 3 victory points for the Warlords, but they're not. It's a Wordbearers, excuse me. Iron Hands managed to kill 2 of the independent characters, the Chaplain and the Delegatus.
Yep.
Good, memory's good. 4 points, 1 for Warlord, and no less than percent. So final score, 5 to the Iron Hands, 3 to the Wordbearers. However, as Boris just said, there are 2 models stood at the end of the game, and I think that is perfectly reflective of the whole game.
I think so, though. I think that combat at the end of the game was perfectly reflective of the whole game, where we both just kept making 5-up and 6-up invulns. The rolls were just absolutely amazing. That Chaplain shouldn't have survived that long in combat against strength 8 APT, AP1 weapon, whichever. It was just amazing. I think that was just so much fun. It was just great to have a really fun game, basically.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I haven't brought the Iron Hands out for such a long while because obviously I've got rid of the Zone Mortalis table now, so we've got no challenge to channel. However, Zone Mortalis is really coming along real fast. So hopefully before Christmas we'll have a Zone Mortalis game and we'll get back on to challenge to channel, which will be really fun. We've got Imperial Fist and Wordbearer to throw against the...
Absolutely, yeah.
Imperial Fist against Iron Hands. I don't know. We'll work that one out. But
it's training exercise.
Exactly. And we can also throw some Thalax in there as well. So that'll be really cool. So looking forward to that. Final word of the game.
I think Psychic Powers outside. I normally play Thousand Suns. Outside of Thousand Suns, pretty useless. I won't take them. But it was good fun to have some psychic shenanigans. But no, that was just such a fun game. That was great.
Yeah, totally agree. A final word from me, really. Immortals, although they are slow and very static, they are immensely fun. Rolling those 5-up shield saves, 5-up Feel No Pain is lots of fun and is reminiscent of my Thalax army because they do get a Feel No Pain, Toughness 5. They share a lot of the same attributes. So it's quite a fun little army to play. I must admit, I'd love some vehicles and some other troops, but Ben, who painted the Iron Hands, he's just too busy. So we'll have to stick to the Challenger channel list, but fun at small points, I think.
I think so. I think, again, actually, last word, but just really encourage people to do 1K games. I mean, we've played it in about 2.5 hours, and that's including filming, which slows it down by about 3 times what a normal game would be. Yeah. You could probably play one of these in an hour, and rather than play 1 3K game, it might be quite fun to do 3 1K back to back. So I'd really encourage people to maybe try it out. Don't just go for the huge set piece battles all the time.
Yeah, and I think as well you have to be very selective about your list at 1,000 points, which adds a little bit of pressure and it challenges you a little bit to build a different list rather than relying on that Leviathan or that Spartan.
There's no Death Stars and everything has to count.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's great. I think it's good fun.
Good stuff. All right, if you would like to follow Boris's exploits on Instagram, where can we find you?
Pack_paints.
Brilliant. If you want to follow the channel, it's at 30k channel. I have done a board build video for this game, so please check that out when this game is released. Photos are on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching.